But there is a person that made a tremendous difference when accepted to be an ambassador for the campaign. The person was my idol when I was a young journalist and was traveling in California and at MIT. I sent him an email with the project in December, and he replied that he accepted to bring our flag worldwide for the Internet for Peace, and that person is Nicolas Negroponte. Please, Nicolas, come on the stage. And I've been reading his final column on Wired US for all the time in the 90s, and then I love the project, the One Laptop Per Child project. And I think that the One Laptop Per Child perfectly embodies the values of our campaign. I will help you here with the images.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to show one image as background. I used the internet in a period when I actually knew every other person on it. I knew everybody on a first-name basis. And one of the things that was interesting to me in the 70s and 80s, as it grew, the people who were part of it, the inventors, if you will, had not a clue as how important it was, how big it would be. And in the early 80s, I had a meeting in London where about a third of the people in the room were literally the inventors of the internet, people who either were in the very early stages before so-called TCP/IP or were involved with that instantiation of it. And I said, how many people will be on the internet in the year 2000? And numbers like, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 30 million came up. And when I suggested 1 billion, it was complete laughter in the room, total laughter in the room. And what has happened is that the internet has provided the ingredients for peace. Where does peace come from? Peace comes from understanding. Nowhere else. That's where it comes from. And where does understanding come from? Understanding comes from two places. One place is education, and the other place, which arguably is part of education, but it's understanding that things are viewed from multiple points of view. That's a little bit harder, but you need a window, if you will, that shows you the multiple points of view. So with one laptop per child, we've reached about 2 million children who have their own laptops, and they're connected in countries like Rwanda and Ethiopia and Afghanistan and Gaza and places that I'm very proud that we're there. But something else is happening, and I didn't realize it. 5 years ago, when I started One Laptop Per Child, I said I want to eliminate poverty, and that's done through education. Well, what my colleagues taught me, and two of them are here, by the way, Matt Keller's in front, just raise your hand, and Robert Fidel, who are the two other people who lead One Laptop Per Child, is they taught me that the end of isolation is key. Because when you have isolation plus poverty, it's a deadly cocktail. That's the deadly cocktail. And the reason it's a deadly cocktail is that the isolated people who are poor are by definition going to only get one point of view and are very, very susceptible. So nominating the internet for the Peace Prize is actually a very interesting phenomenon because it's about the death of distance. And I mean it in a very specific way. You could say, well, we could have all picked up the phone, we could have sent email, not just email, but post and so on. But there's a very different kind of change in distance. In the old days, it's not so old, do you remember that you had to pay more for a long-distance phone call? The more you called, the further you called, the more you paid. And some people might even remember when people talked louder in the phone when they made a long-distance phone call. You would scream so the other person would hear. Distance played a role. And today, how many of you have in a hotel room with maybe a colleague in the next hotel room. In Bangkok, sent a file to your colleague which goes right back to New York or wherever and comes back again, or sometimes you're even moving files in your own laptop by emailing them to yourself around the world. Distance disappears. And the death of distance is a very important reason that you could see peace. And so that's why I support the nomination. So thank you very much for asking me to do that. In my inimitable fashion, I have to go off to another speech. So if you see me leave the room, this is not a vote of non-confidence. It means I've got to go someplace else. But
there are two more
good
things
luck.
Two more things we have to do now. Two more things. The first one is, this is for you.
Ah.
Because actually, I don't know who was going to receive the Nobel Award in Oslo, just in case. But you never know. Everybody, each of us is a candidate. Also, Nicholas, I think, a special role as a candidate. And the second small thing that we have to do is that we invited the Shakira Foundation to participate in the event today. Everybody knows about Shakira, the pop star, the singer. I didn't know that she was so committed in delivering and distributing all PC computer, XO computer in Colombia. And it's very important. And so we think that also the Shakira Foundation embodies the value of our campaign. So we invited the executive president of the foundation, Maria Emma Mejia, to receive an XO.
Thank you so much.
Come here, please.
Thank you so much.
And come on the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh,
and
this is
the.
I'll
maybe
hold it for you.
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
Just thank you to this initiative. No, me. Thank you for the initiative. We began almost 4 years ago. Now we have 1,000 computers, 1,001 laptop per child, XO, in very different places of Colombia, in the Pacific, in the Caribbean, and in the outskirts of Bogota, where there is lots of displacement, internally displaced by the guerrilla war that we've had, and with our neighbors, and they have changed many lives. We've seen how really attention, discipline, they replace really mathematical and lectoescritura and logical mathematics, and we're very pleased to be partners in this. And this is also for you, from the children. It's a tiny. Now I have to give you this little present of the photographs where, like, if you could see them, where the photos are with the parents, with
isn't that nice? Wow.
In their house.
Wow.
Outside of the house, the children sharing with other neighbors.
That's wonderful.
With the grandmama also looking at a computer, and she's learning with her children. So thank you, Nicolás Negroponte. Thank you for this initiative. It is an honor to know you and to meet you, and thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For you. Okay, thank you, Nicholas.
I'd just make one comment about Colombia. Our other partner in Colombia was the Minister of Defense, and the other laptops went into the FARC region. I delivered about 1,000 of them into the FARC region because they just opened it up, and that was really isolated. And what's very important is that Santos just became president of Colombia. And so on his first day, he met Chavez. And on his second day, he met me. Okay? And you can imagine why. So if Colombia doesn't do every child in Colombia, no country will.
You have a good partner there.
Yeah, we have a good part.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas, again.
Thank you so much.